Hey guys, so this video is my March wrap up. I had a really successful reading month and I'm very proud of myself. I know I said the last month when I only read one book, but now that I've read more, I feel even more proud. And so without further ado, let's get on with the books. The first book that I read was Dragon Ball Volume 1, which collects the first 3 volumes. If you don't know what Dragon Ball is, it's pretty much about Goku and his friends finding the Dragon Ball so they can grant him a wish, but there's so much more than that. And at first, when the story focused on the adventure aspect, it was a bit slow and it kind of dragged a little bit. But once Goku starts training with Master Roshi and Krillin, that's, I think, is when the story really picks up and it becomes a stronger story. So I gave this a 4 stars on Goodreads. The next book I read was for a Goodreads group I'm in. I'll link that down below if you're interested in looking into that. So the first book we read for this month was The Book Thief. It's such a beautiful book. I had never read it before. I had never really heard anything about it, just that it was a lot of people's, favorite book, and I can see why. It's so beautiful. The best way of going into it is blindly and not knowing too much about the story. There's no other words to describe how great this book is. I gave it a 5 stars on Goodreads. Then I read Thanks for the Trouble. I made this whole review, which I will link down below. It's a boy meets girl type of story where they spend a weekend together and she changes his life, so yeah. And finally, the last book is The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1, except I had to return that to the library, so I have Volume 2 just for sort of a reference point. And I really love this story. The way that these bind up works is that it usually either collects a story arc or it collects the writer's run. The reason why the issue number is so low, even though it had been going on since like the 50s or 60s or something like that, is because in 2000 Marvel decided to reboot Spider-Man and so they decided to start again with issue number 1 to sort of get new readers, and it's been referred to as Spider-Man Volume 2. And even though it started again with issue number 1, it's basically a continuation of Volume 1. I really like reading this and we never really get the story of a grown-up Peter Parker, and that's what I liked. In these issues, he's a high school teacher, he's married to MJ, and they're sort of having issues. And even the villains, there's been more new villains. Like, from on the issues that I've read so far, only Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock, has appeared. And so him being the exception, they're all new villains, and it's really great. I gave the first issue 5 stars out of 5 on Goodreads. And yeah, those were the books that I read for March. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below which book you read this month was your favorite.